Yo, what's going on people? It's your boy Ape Huncho back at you again with another video. And so I've got a couple of stories that I want to go over with you guys that have came out over the past couple of days or so, and they're from both up in the north and down in the south of England. We'll head up north first though to Leeds, where at around 9:31 PM yesterday on the 13th of April 2021, police were called to Stank's Parade in the Swarcliffe area of the city. When they arrived, they found an 18-year-old male suffering from an injury in where his whole hand had been chopped off due to a machete attack. Now, although this had happened, he was quickly rushed to hospital by paramedics and is currently being treated in hospital where his condition, believe it or not, is non-life threatening. Neighbours from the estate would come out to tell reporters the gruesome aftermath of the attack. One person who did not want to be named said it was absolutely horrific. His hand was literally on the road. It's not an image you would forget. A man who lives a few doors away from the incident said he was outside and a few lads came up and chopped his whole hand off. I've never seen anything or ever known anything like it. Another neighbour, again speaking anonymously, said the type of attack is shocking, but the fact that it happened on the estate is not. They said, obviously I didn't expect to hear that his hand had been chopped off, but I can't say I'm surprised that something has happened. It's 100% gang related. It's a shame. This is a nice, friendly neighbourhood, but there's always issues with certain people. But I think the weirdest statement of all of them to come out of this situation was from a neighbour where they would go on to say that even though this 18-year-old's hand had been chopped off, he was in high spirits, with the victim joking that he couldn't masturbate with his hand anymore. The neighbour would go on to say he was obviously screaming in pain, which we all heard. I mean, the lad had his arm chopped off. He was in good spirits. He shouted, "For God's sake, how am I going to be able to masturbate now?" As it stands right now though, no arrests have been made in connection with this incident, and inquiries are actually ongoing to locate the people involved in this situation. And so a pretty sad situation for the person involved, but it is good to hear that he is in good spirits over the situation. But in reality, it is pretty shocking that an 18-year-old man has had his whole hand cut off, and you really have to think about how much this is going to affect him moving forward now, because of course he said that he can't masturbate, but just your day-to-day life is going to take a lot of getting used to, and is going to be a lot harder than what it would be like if you had both hands. But I am hoping moving forward he can get the help that he needs and again can move on from this situation. But moving on to our next story, and for this one we've got to head over to Chigwell, where some people have gone on to be arrested in connection with a broad daylight kidnapping. I'm going to use some stills from the video that's been circulating in the news, but if you do want to see the full video, head over to my Instagram, which I will leave linked down in the description below. So this all went down on Sunday the 11th of April 2021, and at around 3 PM police were called to Queen Mary Avenue in South Woodford to reports that a man had been kidnapped. According to witnesses and from what you can see in the footage, it's believed that two men got out of a grey Ford Transit van and dragged a man into the back of the vehicle after punching him a number of times. It's believed that a third suspect was in the van. The vehicle then drives off, followed by a black BMW, and it's believed that the driver of that black BMW had been speaking with the victim only moments before the van arrived. When officers arrived at the scene and carried out a search of the area, they traced the van down to the Chigwell area and stopped it in Brooks Parade. When the van had came to a stop, 3 men left the van and ran from the scene. 2 men aged in their 20s were eventually arrested by police and were charged in connection with this incident. I'm unsure what the charges are at this current time though, because they haven't been stated. Whilst the victim, a man in his 30s, was recovered from the back of the van and was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. And so a pretty scary situation for the man involved, and to think as well that this happened in broad daylight where it was literally picked up on camera. But again, that is 2021 for you. To me, it just seems like people don't really care nowadays, and even in broad daylight, they're just acting out on serious crimes. Like take for example the shootings we covered a short while ago. again, they were in broad daylight. We seen a massive knife fight on a packed park the other day as well, and now this. But at least the man did survive this incident with no serious injuries, and again, this could be a completely different story altogether. Again, I don't know the circumstances surrounding this whole situation, but I have seen a few stories recently where people have gone on to be kidnapped and then they do end up either seriously injured or even worse, end up dead. But again, 2 people have been arrested in connection with this incident and they've been charged as well. And if there is any more updates from this situation, as always, I'm going to keep you guys posted on this one. But let me know what you guys think of this down in the comment section below. Give the video a little like, and if you want the latest drill, street and music news out of the UK, be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. It's been your boy Huncho, and I'm out.